Hello everyone, and welcome to a game that's very near and dear to my heart, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Now, you may be wondering why I started out in the title screen. This is because I'd like to talk about a few things. First, while Bethesda games are well known for their modding communities, I'm not going to be using any. Second, due to various unexpected circumstances, I am not going to be able to play the Blood Moon expansion. This is because of some bugs that I have encountered. I may be able to resend on this later, and I hopefully will be able to. However, I make no promises. I will, for certain, be able to play Baseline and Tribunal, and that is a lot of content. Now, after my failings, let's talk about something a bit nicer. I know a lot about this game. I know a lot of little details and nooks and crannies and the cool little bits you can find lying around. I do not know all of them. This is a huge game. If you have a location on the map you want me to go to, or if you have a place in a building you want me to go to poke to find an enchanted weapon, or just some cool little detail that you have for me, post it, comment it, tell me it. I am always open to poking things. There is an enormous amount of content in Morrowind, and there is no way I know it all. So, please, tell me anything you know. I'm always open. And with that, let's begin our adventure, gentlemen and ladies. Zoran Arctus. Good old guy. That's us! Though I'm not ignorant of the role because, yay, meta!
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison. First by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go.
Music.
You were dreaming.
I love this game's music.
What's your name?
I can put in a lot of things in here, but I'm just going to use my username because I'm not going to be role-playing much. Fun fact, this guy, Jib, he actually shows up again. Apparently he purged all the cliff racers from Morrowind, according to a book in Oblivion. He actually shows up in the Soul Cairn in Skyrim. It's a nice detail that they actually, reuse this guy who does nothing else in the game but ask you what your name is. That's his only purpose, and he managed to purge one of the most annoying enemies in the game. Good on you, Jib.
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
By the way, everyone in this game is ripped.
Quiet.
Seriously, look.
Here comes the guard.
This is where you get off. Come with me.
Okay. Technically we could loot these crates, but there's no real point to because the guard's literally right there. Missed that I went a bit down the viewpoint there. Just tap and control. Pretty simple command. WASD to move, as usual. Shift is sprinting.
As civil as possible.
E is jump, though I can't jump in here. And space is interact.
This is where they want you.
Hello?
Head down to the dock and
Wait,
I'll show you
I
to
think
the
that
census
hairstyle
office.
is called cornrows, but honestly, at this angle, it looks kind of like he's got black razor blades in his head. Like he had an
Let's go.
accident in a
Move it
volcano
along.
and got a chunk of obsidian stuck in, you know?
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from where.
The internet! But no. Now, there are a lot of races here, and I'm not going to go into all of them. However, there are some that I'd like to make specific note of. Specifically, Argonians and Khajiits. These are lizard people and cat people, respectively, but they have two rather large disadvantages that are unlisted and can be somewhat hard to figure out. They cannot wear several types of greaves and several types of helmet, resulting in them having much less armor than other races. This is annoying. It doesn't tell you about this. I'm going to be playing as a guy who has apparently had his head split open. I'm not going to change the face because there's not really much point in having a neat-looking face in this game. Because you're mostly going to be wearing a helmet. A full face helmet. Red guards are neat because they have a really high long blade stat, and I like swords in this game. I like swords. No, I'm not going to be doing that. I didn't name my character Fighter McWarrior. I'm not that insane. Red guards have a few nice buffs. Adrenaline Rush is very good for getting you out of a pinch, because look at them stat buffs. That's on a scale of 5, well technically 1, but I've never seen it get that low, to 100. It gives you plus 50. This is absolutely freaking insanely good. Seriously, I love it. Other races do exist, but I'm going to go with the Red Guard on the grounds of long blade, stabbing people, stab, stab, stabbity, stab, stabbity, stabbity, stab, stab. But yeah, Red Guards also have some really neat background, as their best fighters are basically
Great. I'm sure you'll
anime samurai mixed
Follow
with
me up to the office and they'll finish
mixed
your
with
release.
stereotypical desert nomads, mixed with a fair few other things, really. Like a good bit of Japanese folklore. And I'm talking about the weird stuff, not just, you know, the relatively normal spirits. I'm talking the things like the Gosh-Garakudo, the giant made of bones and blood.
Yes, we've been expecting you.
Anyway.
And you'll have to be recorded before you're officially
Tutorial man,
released.
hello.
There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Now, we can do 3 things here. We can answer his questions, which are somewhat unclear. And, well, generate a class for you. This is kind of annoying, and I don't really recommend it. It's not a very good system. I love the game, but this is one of its flaws. And given the info, and the class list is pretty decent, but I'm going to make my own custom class. It's going to be called Adventurer because I'm lazy. I want to be very strong, and I want to be lucky, because luck is the god stat in this game. Seriously. When we get into the combat system in the next video, you'll see. I'll explain why. Now, skills. I'm going to go with block, because blocking in this game isn't just holding down the right mouse to bring up your shield. It's an automatic thing that happens, and it's actually pretty rare, so it's very hard to raise. However, having a % base chance to nullify any incoming damage, very nice. Armor. It's repairing your gear. This is incredibly valuable. Medium armor is terrible. Don't get me wrong. Early game, medium armor is good stuff. It's a nice in-between, as it says, between heavy and light armor early game. However, late game, light armor will outclass it in every way, both weight and protection, as there are no high-end sets of medium armor. Tribunal, the DLC, tries to change this, but it still fails. Like, the Adamantium set is okay, but in comparison to Daedric or Glass, it's barely better than Glass, if at all, and I'm sorry, medium armor. You're just not very good. Long blade and heavy armor is what I'm going to go with. It's the big heavy stuff. I like heavy armor. I'm a tank. I could go with blunt weapons, but instead I'm going to go with something else. Athletics, because this lets me run around really fast. And you want to be able to do that because you're going to be doing a lot of walking in this game. Now, another god skill, security. This opens locks. Locks get you loot. And as any proper gamer knows, the loot is the most important thing of every video game ever. Seriously though, it also lets you disarm traps. And there are some quite nasty traps in this game, including several that do basically one-hit kill levels of damage. Admittedly, those tend to be fairly obvious, but whatever. Not going to use the axe skill because I'm going to for a sword and board build because yeah. Going to put restoration in because it's nice to have healing in this game. You want lots of healing. Now, something to note, spells in this game have 2 types, the enchanting ones that are like enchanted rings and the like, and the actual spells. You want enchant as a skill, as you can see at the bottom of the minor skills tree, because in this game, your magicka does not passively recharge. Only your magic items do. They flip this around in Oblivion and Skyrim, where your magic items don't recharge, but your magicka does. Don't know why they decided to change that. Still, something to note. I'm going to put in acrobatics because you do want to do a fair bit of jumping. I'm going to swap out spear for... alteration, because that lets you levitate. And levitating is really useful in this game. Lets you get to all sorts of neat places.
Very good. The letter that preceded, you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And
The
what
local
would
tavern?
that be?
Yeah, there's lots of these signs. The apprentice is pretty simple. Atronak is weird. Gives you 50% spell immunity. Gives you a lot more maximum magicka. But stunted magicka really sucks, frankly. Not worth it, in my opinion. Lady's Favorite just buffs you up. This is honestly not worth it. It's a very powerful healing spell, but weakness to fire. This is pretty good, because it's a passive agility fortification forever. And Lover's Kiss is a 60-second paralyze, even if it knocks you unconscious for fatigue. As long as you're fighting one target, you win. Or at least you can run away really fast. This is pretty simple, just a flat-out buff. No penalties, no nothing. This is good for killing undead. And, well, health restoration. Ritual's very solid. This I don't really like. It's basically causing 60 points of damage to the enemy for 30 points of damage on yourself. And his poison damage isn't all that good. I don't like Serpent. Let's say it's bad, I just don't like it. Shadow, very good for escaping. 60-second invisibility, lovely. This, not so much. This is a 10% chance to dodge all incoming attacks. Sanctuary is amazing, seriously. I'm going to be going with the Thief, but there's still the Tower and the Warrior to discuss. This lets you detect your loot. This obviously has very good uses. This is basically the Rogue one. Because, well, lets you detect loot, and it lets you open up to a 50-point lock-on touch. Very few locks in the game are past that, and by that time you'll have some decent lockpicks, so, yeah. This is just hit more often, frankly. Like the opposite of the Thief, which is get hit less often. I'm gonna go with the Thief, because I like not taking damage.
Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
I'm really strong. I'll be able to carry 300 pounds, by the way, because your carry weight is your strength times 5. Very useful. I also have a 50 long blade skill, and as this goes up to 100, that's good. Also, Akaviri Danger Sense does fit in well with the Red Guard, because they come from Akavir. Well, the area around Akavir, technically. The Elder Scrolls setting has a bit of interest in geography. Anyway, here's our papers. They say basically everything. Yes, we have an inventory. Something that I like to note. See this guy? He's us. We're ripped too. Also, we can take our shirt, clothes off, and gear off from this menu. Now, in Skyrim and Oblivion, a lot of the miscellaneous junk was basically 1.0, 1 value garbage. You know, nothing that you want to carry. If you can, steal this. I'm not going to, because it's very difficult, and frankly, I don't really need it. So I know some shiny things around the town. Books are also good loot.
Continue through to the next building and
Evan's
talk to
chest,
fellow
because this is a
Stradlys.
prison. As a former prisoner in this game. I guess you are a former prisoner. The precedent continues. Yeah. The booze is basically potions in this game. This tells you about the constellations. I'm just going to take it because it's worth a lot of money. Peter Candlestick, decent price. Egg. Last have a decent price too, it seems. That chest is locked with a level 1 lock. Take food in general right now, because you're going to soon get some shiny things. Yeah, this is basically the game giving you a bunch of free money in the form of a bunch of junk that you can sell. Yes, there's booze. I'm taking the bread. I'm taking a knife. No, I'm not going to use the knife. I'm going to use the lockpick. Lockpicks count as weapons here. They're not just passive things in your inventory like in Oblivion and Skyrim. They also have different qualities. 31 gold. Lovely. He's never going to get his dagger. Lots of stuff down here. This is just a goblet. I don't want a goblet. This has literally nothing. You're terrible. Netch leather. 1 gold. Not worth it. Bloat. Muck. Muck's actually really good. Now I remember, because it has some nice effects. Ooh, slowed soap. You always want to look out for this, because it's 0.1 weight and 50 gold. Nice. Quamacuddle is also good stuff for potion stuff. I take all of this. Open the sturdy arched door, watch it get caught on my model, because this is a bit of an old game, as you may have noticed from the graphics. And open this. Now! I missed this on my very first playthrough of this game. This barrel. Engraved Ring of Healing. This is one of the most useful early items you can get. So now we can use magic. We have our innate power of Adrenaline Rush. Very nice. And we have Engraved Ring of Healing. You may notice there's a cost-to-charge ratio. This is because the ring's maximum mana, which is not our maximum mana, I will note, is 20, and it stores, and it costs 4 to use. Makes a pretty noise, too. Whee! Whee! Yeah, now we get to talk to this guy. Celis Gratius. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Celis Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Now, you can see that you can interact with both these blue words, as you can see that they highlight slightly when I mouse over them, and over here. I'm going to use over here, because it looks cooler. He is Celis Gravius, Knight Errant of the Imperial Legion. Nice title. Unfortunately, you don't have a nice hat. Therefore, you are a terrible knight. Everyone knows good knights have hats. Now, I'm going to continue through this quickly because there is a hilarious thing. This is mostly background, but it's pretty cool background, so I suppose I should read it out. Yes, you're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here, or why you were released from prison and shipped here, but your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII himself. And I don't need to know any more than that. Not very questioning, are you? When you leave this office, you are a free man. But before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor. So pay careful attention. You do want to pay careful attention. First, though, who's Uriel Septim? Yes, Uriel Septim is still the Emperor. According to my instructions, he personally authorized your release from prison and your delivery here. It's all very mysterious, but that's the way the Empire works. Silence, secrecy. Let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. This sounds efficient. Yes, of course this is the Empire. This is Vardenfall district of the province of Morrowind, and Morrowind has been part of the Empire for over 400 years. The current Emperor is Uriel Septim, 24th of the Septim line. You haven't been in prison that long, have you? Nothing wrong with your head, is there? The men said you were acting a little strange when they brought you in from the ship. Look, man, it was the tutorial. Yep. He basically thinks we're crazy. We probably are. Now let's go about these duties. This package came with the news of your arrival. Your tickets to Caius Cosades, in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Cosades. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Always 87 gold. Let's ask him about Caius. Report to Caius Cosades in Balmora. I can't tell you where to find him, but you are to go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for him. Someone there can direct you to him. Okay, how do I get to Balmora? North of Saint Denis, the road passes Pelagiad Village and Fort Pelagiad, crosses a deep ravine, passes Fort Moonmoth, then turns west across the Odai River and into Balmora. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmora, on the east side of the river. For more detailed instructions, talk to Elone the Scout at Arael's Trade House here in Saint Denis. But take my advice, you're new here. Take the Silt Strider to Balmora. Fast, cheap, safe. Cross the bridge and head east, you can't miss it. I actually did miss it the first time around. Yeah, I can be a bit of a derp at times. Press J to use your journal and review what you've been told. You should probably check out Arael's Trade House Up on the left. You're on your own now. Good luck. I love that. It's just a nice bit of, you know, humor. You see this warehouse? We could pick the lock to get in, but we'd probably break our lockpick before actually getting in, as it is probability based. And yeah, that's a Silt Strider. Basically a giant tick. Admittedly, it's not as evil as a tick, but yeah.
Sorry, stranger. My time is short, so
Now this guy,
get on with
we're
it.
going to want to talk to him later, in a little bit. First, though, we need some money. Because Aurel's Trade House is also the shop. That is why the game told us to go there. I'm also equipping my knife on the general principle that there may be gribbles about. Because there's a chance a gribble will spawn. One of the most famous gribbles of the entire Elder Scrolls setting. Let's see if it does. Hello! See that rock? Now, you may notice that I'm only stabbing it. This is because of the way the game works. It does have the ability to thrust, to slash, and bash. However, I do not use those. This is because I have the game set to automatically use the best attack. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can set it so it doesn't automatically do that. And it is an interesting way to deal with things. Also, remember how I mentioned secrets in the opening? Stumps generally have shiny things in them. This one has a silverware cup. And if I can select it, yeah. There. And 25 gold. Decent supply. Now you're probably thinking there's nothing else. Nope. Watch this. Watch me get stuck on a rock, apparently! Go me. Get up there, you bastard. Yeah, at low acrobatics and athletics, it's really hard to climb things. Now, you want to run and jump onto here very carefully, because there's your first magic weapon. Axes are pretty good in this game. This is a two-handed one, and as you can see, it does very low minimum damage of 1, but very high maximum damage. It also has a frost damage enchantment. We're not going to be selling this, because while we don't have much axe skill, it's our only magic weapon right now. And there are quite a few things around that need magic weapons to hurt, and otherwise you just run away like a bitch. And that's just not fun. You should kill everything you meet. You're an adventurer, damn it. Mass murder is in your blood. Alright, we're not playing Baldur's Gate, so mass murder isn't actually in our blood, but you know what I mean. Anyway, climb up to the top of here, and we have some loot. Grief, and a skill book. Skill books are very good. This one increases my unarmored skill a little. I don't care about that, because unarmored is terrible. Like, it's slightly better than nothing right now. There's nothing out that door that we care about. I mean, unless you guys want to see me drop off a tower, but in that case, no. It's the general principle of I don't want to drop off a great big tower. That guy does have a quest, but again, we're going to be getting into that later. Probably in the next video now I think about it. Now, you want to run and hop everywhere you can as long as your stamina permits while you're in town. This is because this is a good way to train athletics and acrobatics. Now, I'm a heavy armor build, but I'm basically wearing cloth. Cloth is terrible armor. This guy gives you some advice, but it's not really useful advice unless you're... And honestly, it's kind of dumb at some points. He does try and sell you quite a few scrolls. Now, you do want to carry scrolls around like Omsavi Intervention. Unduci's Unhinging is pretty good. Being able to summon a meat sack is good. This is a very nice healing spell, frankly. And the Restore Magicka is actually very good if you're a mage. Expensive as all balls, though. Scroll of Vitality is okay, and he also sells lockpicks. They're surprisingly commonly sold, frankly. Now, I want to buy steel armor. You're probably wondering where I'm going to get... You're probably thinking that I'm going to be selling all the booze, and then burning all my cash on one Carias. No, this game is really good about the passive loot. Things like, the silverware. I've got 209 gold just out of that. It's only the Scamp Skin, the Scrib Jelly, the Slowed Soap. Basically, if it's got more than 5 value, I'm dumping it. I'm keeping the axe, though. And another nice detail about this game that wasn't actually in Oblivion or Skyrim. You can actually trade goods for goods. For example, this is 150. I'm going to get 230 gold out of this. I now get 52 gold out of this. I can also buy some pants for 88 gold, a left gauntlet, a left pauldron, a right gauntlet, and a tower shield. I'm going to buy as much as I can on the general grounds of armor is good. I have 1 gold left, but most of a suit of steel armor. Let's put it on. Darius is the chest piece, obviously. Greaves, everyone knows about. I have a gauntlet for my non-sword hand, and I have a pauldron for that hand. You can wear clothes under your armor. This is good for later in the game when you can enchant things.
My patience is limited.
You remember that the man mentioned that there are people up here that can
You
be,
like to dance close to the fire, don't you?
well, talked to.
I
Like,
will listen out now.
Alone the Scout. Alone the Scout. Here's Alone. And that's correct. It's gonna be a bit easy to miss that. However, you may notice that I also didn't buy a weapon, despite the fact that I have a 50 long blade skill, and the fact that this is quite high for that this stage in the game.
What assistance do you need?
Yes, yes. Now, I have a reason for not buying a weapon, despite the fact that weapons are very important. You generally want to get a weapon first. Veterans of this game will know why. But for the newbies, here. This is basically the tutorial dungeon. Kind of easy to miss. Adamasartus? Expect me to bungle these names a lot. Like, a lot. They are complicated, and they're weird, and half the time I don't know how to say them. So if I say it wrong from some sort of official pronunciation guide, correct me, please. I'm always open to being corrected if I'm wrong. But, as you can see, as I was about to do the outro, I got lit. That. Grumble, grumble. Anyway. As you can see, that is where we're going to be going next video. This time, I think we'll leave it off here. There's nothing in this stump, by the way, just in case you were wondering. And that's what it sounds like when you level up your skills. Pretty nice. Pretty view, too. Like, for its time. And honestly, it holds up pretty well today, especially the music. But I think this is where we'll leave it off. Next time, we're going into a tutorial dungeon that I can't pronounce, and we're going to be getting a nice weapon. A very nice weapon, honestly. It wasn't Oriel's inventory, but why buy something when you can take it from a dungeon? I'll see you then, folks. Goodbye.